I'm just waiting for Joe Robertson to connect. So I'm very excited. As part of HJ's virtual week, we're having a jam-packed week filled with business sessions, digital skills sessions and online education sessions. And I really feel that we've got Joe Robertson here. He's going to be giving us a really informative session on how to become a specialist in your field. So hello there, Joe.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. I'm loving your background.
I know, I am live in the she shed, which is my little office at the bottom of the garden. So yeah, I've decorated it how I would love my house to be, but my husband wouldn't let me do it.
Exactly. Make it as girly as you want once it's in the she shed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this session and for sharing your expertise with us. So I guess, shall we just start with the big question? I guess, how do you become a specialist in your field?
Well, I've been asked this question so many times throughout my career, and I want to sort of highlight where my career started, and it didn't start in a London or a sort of city centre salon. And I think that's really important to frame this, because this is about what you offer, not about where you come from. And I was laughing actually with you earlier, and I said that, you know, when I first started out, we didn't have the internet. We had the Yellow Pages, which was a book where you don't know what that is, where you can find all the information. So now I think it's even easier than we've ever had it before, to be able to be that person. And you just need to follow a few guidelines and really just be clever about what you're doing. So I've put together a little talk sheet for you that I'm going to give you afterwards. So everything that I'm sort of sharing with you now, I'm going to sort of put this onto my my link tree in my bio of my Instagram a little bit later.
And I guess one of the bonuses right now specifically is obviously we're going through this horrible time with the coronavirus. Yeah. There's a lot of people at home with time on their hands. So
yeah, I think now, you know, you've been blessed almost. You've got to look at this as take the positives out of what we've got at the moment. I'd love for us all to be in the salon. I'd love for us all to be working, but we're not. So if you can't work on your business, you can work in your business. I think that's a really good mantra to have at the moment, and just look at what you're doing. So the first thing I would say to anybody that wants to know, right, where do I start right from the beginning, is don't try and be somebody else. They're already taken. There's some amazing people out there, and don't try and replicate what somebody else is doing. Now, I'm not saying you've got to reinvent the wheel, because sometimes we can't, and you know, you've got a specific skill that you want to teach, but understand what your why is. So why are you doing this? I think it's important. I speak to a lot of people, especially with the hair agency. I say, I want to be an educator. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What do you love about what you teach? And then when you start drilling down to it, they don't know why they want to teach it. They just want to be an educator because they enjoy doing it. But before you can get to that sort of like number 10 step, you've got to start at the beginning and really understand why. Why would someone be listening to you? What makes you different to somebody else? And when you've got to think about this, we're in a time now where we've got no money. So all of the educators that I know, they're just not working at the moment.
No, yeah.
So why would somebody pay you to listen to you, to come to your salon? What is it that you can offer them? And I'm going to show you how to do this a little bit later on. But you've also got to think about where can you be heard and seen. So social media at the moment, amazing. That's the only method of communication that we have. So let's find out where your clients are, your ideal client. So think about it like you would do in a salon. If you know, your salon, your clients could be what we're referring to at the moment, or it could be that I want to be an educator, I want to be a platform artist.
I'm just going to stop you for a second, because Daniel Granger said his why is making clients feel amazing, which I thought was quite
yeah. So whatever your why is, capture that why, hold on to it, and then start drilling that down, because that's when we can really start to find some golden nuggets in there, things that are going to make you from just being a person that has just got a salon or just doing education to someone that's truly amazing. Definitely. So where are your clients at the moment? So whether that's a client that's sitting in your salon, is she on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, House Party, which seems to be this whole new world that we've suddenly been thrown into? Where are they at the moment? but also I want you to think about this, you know, just putting something on social media once is not going to make like you a superstar. Consistency, and I'm going to talk about that a lot through this. We need to be consistently be showing up. So think about someone at the moment that you think is absolutely smashing it in this industry. Why are they smashing it? In your opinion, why are these people smashing it?
We actually had one person there, Joe, just say that they've lost their confidence. So you're talking about people smashing it and putting themselves all over social media. What advice would you give to someone who feels like they want to own a space, but they've just lost their confidence?
Be you. Be absolutely you. And through this, honestly, when you see this talk sheet, I'm hoping you'll have a few aha moments where you're kind of like, oh, right, okay, I get this. Because you're looking at somebody else and they're maybe like, oh my God, they're getting so many clients, they're doing this, they're getting this coverage, they're doing that. But do you know what? They're just passionate about what they do. They're just putting out there their opinion. And we've all got very, very different opinions. We've all got very different skill sets. It's having that belief. But before we get to that number 10, and that's what I kept talking about at the very end, that's where your number 10 is like, right, okay, we're smashing it. We're out there, we're doing it. But we've got a lot of steps before we get to that number 10. So, you know, when you're looking at your expertise, it might not be that different to what somebody else is doing. You know, it might be that, you know, you're doing, for instance, balayage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there doing balayage at the moment. But why would somebody pay you to do balayage? And I think it's the way you put your package together. Right. Because at the end of the day, you've got to offer somebody something that they are not getting. So when you're doing your research, so you've got to research your skill set, look at your social media at the moment and take a really good look at it. Does that actually say what you do for a living? So if you are going out there and being the salon that does the big bouncy blow dries, and then all of a sudden you've got bright colours on your page, people are going to look at that and go, oh, I don't know if this is for me. So I'm not saying you have to, as an educator you do. As an educator, your page should look about what you offer. But if you're a salon, pick, you know, like have a look through other people's Instagrams if they have got like all beautiful balayages or beach waves, and that's what they specialise in. People go, oh right, okay, I know what I'm going to get there.
And if you're just starting out with trying to build your own little niche, should you just drip feed your specialism into your social media feed, or is it about just going full out?
I think you need to decide what you do. I think really understand what you do, and you can't be all to everybody, and you can't teach everything because it's confusing. If someone says I do cutting, I do styling, I do colouring, and my specialist is colour correction, then I do this, and you're like, oh my God, why would I get this person? I don't understand what she's offering me. There's a really simple way of doing it, and it's about finding your pain point. So looking at someone's pain point. So if you've got a clientele, for instance, and they say, oh, you know, that they're coming to you for the big blow dries every week. So do you feel that your big blow dry isn't lasting as long as you want it to last? And you go, yes, that's me. What I'm able to do, I'm able to offer you a blow dry that's going to last you 4 days plus because I'm doing this and this. So it's finding out what your client's pain points are. And this goes back to sort of research that you need to do before you get to that number 10.
And I guess problem solving as well.
This is all problem solving. So this is like my last point was going to be, you know your target audience, sell them their problem and give them the result that they need. And that's what this is all about. So show up consistently and make sure people know who you are. So if someone goes onto my page, they know who I am, what I do. I talk about the brands that I work with. I talk about what I specialise in. I don't talk about everything else because it's not relevant to me. Stories I find is a place where I can be a little bit more personal, but on my grid, that's where I kind of keep this. This is what I do. So if you look at my grid, you know who I am. Go on.
In terms of specialisms that are out there at the moment, would you say there are any gaps in the market that people should be kind of keeping an eye on?
Gosh, specialisms at the moment. Okay, so there is a lot of people teaching colour at the moment, so I can tell you that. There's a lot of people there. But look at people, I tell you who's brilliant at doing this, is Jack Howard. He's absolutely phenomenal at doing this. He found that niche in the market. He still does balayage, and so does a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But it's the way he owns it. It's the way he knows his skills. So he's the perfect person to look at, because you know exactly what you're going to get with Jack. And he talks about it consistently. He shows up consistently. I've spent time with him, and I know how much effort he puts into his work and how much time that he spends on doing this. This is not easy. If you want to sort of get through this and just like, yes, I'm going to be, you know, make it within 6 months, you're not. You're really not. It takes a long time to get recognised within this industry. But also go back to your why. You know, if your why is about having a fully booked column, then absolutely amazing. How are you going to do that? That's your why. That's what gets you up in the morning. That's what makes you smile. That's what makes you kind of inspired. Brilliant. I'm not saying being a platform artist is that way to go. You've got to work out what your why is and why you get up in the morning. Because do you know what? It's a hard work being this person. It's hard work turning up every day. And if you're not passionate about it, if you're not getting up every morning and going, yes, I'm going to go out there and do this, then this is going to be really tough for you. The people that are on there at the moment that are just sort of like, I'm missing my clients, I can't wait to get back to work. These people that are working on their businesses at the moment that are turning up to stuff like this, these are the people that are going to be going back in a really strong position. And I think that's really important now, just to do a few steps, work out what your why is, work out what your social media strategy is or your communication strategy. One of the best ways of getting work now is through recommendations. I can't stress how important recommendations are for any business, whether it's a salon or whether that's for an educator.
Is there anything right now that hairdressers can do to get those recommendations coming in while clients are thinking about the fact they can't wait to get their hair done?
Ask for them. Absolutely. Do you know what? Every time I do an education session, I ask for recommendations. There's no shame in doing that at all. You know, get them. What's brilliant is getting you onto your Google business. So if you can get your recommendations onto your Google business, you'll get ranked higher and you'll be seen more often. I know some software does allow you to be able to put your referrals that you get from your software, your salon software, straight onto your Google business. So that's worth checking out whether yours does do that, because having recommendations for any business is absolutely key to be seen on the Google better than anybody else.
And we're just doing some sort of like refer a friend. So, you know, check out this hair salon as soon as they're back open again and you'll get 10% off, you know, on your first
I think
back or
anything at the moment is fair game. Do you know what? Anything is, you know, sending out I'm a big fan of doing questionnaires. I always recommend people to do questionnaires, because if you know what your ideal client is thinking, then you're able to give them what they want. So at the moment, you know, everybody is in this real community kind of space at the moment where we want to help each other. So asking people for a bit of help and saying to them, you know, if you do really enjoy coming into the salon, you do enjoy my education sessions, or, you know, we're not trading at the moment, but I'm still out there. I'm doing lives. I'm putting myself forward. I'm thinking of ways that I can be seen and be present, going on stuff, commenting, showing your clients that you're still there. My beauty therapist texted me today to ask me if I'm okay. And I was just like, oh, that's so nice. And she's like, I can't wait to see you when you're back. I'm just checking that you're okay in the family. And I was just like, that's really nice. Yeah. And it kind of makes you kind of like feel special.
And that you want to go back and see them as soon as...
I need to go back and see them. I'm keeping my fringe long until my eyebrows are done. But show up. At the moment, we can't show up anywhere apart from social media, but show up at events, industry events, when we're back together again and we're able to go out. You know, make sure that you're showing up at events, you know, go to education and make sure you go up and talk to people. I know a few people on there that I've seen that are saying that they've lost confidence. Yeah. And that's really hard to do that, really easy to do that, because sometimes you just see everybody else is doing it so well and you think that you're not, and you are. It's just, you know, having that confidence and go up to somebody. like I said to someone not long ago when we were still allowed out, I said, right, okay, the next hairdressing industry that you go up to, I want you to go up to somebody and say, hi, my name's Jo, how are you? I know everybody in this, I don't know everybody, but I know everybody in this industry are really nice people.
Yeah, definitely.
How many times have you looked at somebody and they've turned their back on you or they've not helped you? You could direct message someone and ask them for advice. You could walk up to them at the moment and it's an industry event and say, you know, I really love your work. You know, how I'd love to work with you. Could you give me some advice? Just ask people.
Definitely. And actually now,
they're amazing.
Somebody who would normally be super busy and you wouldn't want to reach out to them, maybe now is a good time to reach out and they might have a bit of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know, one of the guys that I chat with quite regular, I'm going to say his name, Jack. So Jack, he wanted to sort of get ahead in the second world and he was asking me for advice. And I said to him, just contact that person. Just go and do it. What have you got to lose? And do you know what? He's on his team now and he's assisting him. And I'm really proud of what he did at that point, because he could have just said, oh, no, it's fine. But he did it. And I think it's that point where you kind of go, what have I got to lose? I really don't have anything to lose at the moment, all to gain. Another thing that I always say is give away more than you receive. So, you know, giving away free education or giving away time is really, you know, I will answer someone's phone call, or I will reply to their text message, or I try and speak to everybody that direct message me. Time, I can give time away for free, but when I need that person in a few years or whatever favour that I need, they'll always remember that I was that person that helped them out.
Definitely.
So time is really good about giving that away. I am loving the sunlight coming through.
Yeah, exactly.
To dodge it a little bit, I'm going to turn a little bit more.
It looks like you're somewhere quite tropical there, Jo. In the shed.
In the Midlands. Yeah. It is the tropics of the Midlands.
Yeah.
That's where I am.
Not quite as sunny where I am at the moment.
Maybe it will come further south.
Hopefully.
I put together a few ways of how to sort of sell your services, and one is creating communities. So we talked about recommendations, but you know, creating that kind of space where people feel able to come and talk to you, giving away that free information or giving away some lives, some free education. Create that community so you know them. I do a live every Monday on a closed Facebook group for one of the brands that I work with, Yellow, which is getting a really nice response now. And I'm seeing the same people that are popping up every week, and you're like, oh, hi. And I feel like it's a bit of a social before we get going.
You were telling me earlier about how you showed them around your she shed, because I've seen it so much from the same angle. So you were like, let's do a little tour.
I did, yeah. I did a little tour. We were waiting for a few people to come on last night, and I did a little tour around the she shed of just showing them where I work. And it just makes it really personal. And we're just normal people doing normal jobs. And you just got to share that information and just be present. My other tip was don't sell to the masses, so sell yourself. So don't try and be all to everyone. And I think that's sort of the whole point of like, oh, I do cutting, I do styling, I do balayage, I do brights. You know, what do you do? And just sell that story, because when people work out what you do, it's able then for people to latch onto that and say, okay, right, I get that. Right, okay, this is what she can do for me, instead of messing around.
In their biographies on Instagram, what would you recommend putting in those 2 or 3 lines where you've got that little bit of space?
Do you know what, the bios is a really tricky one, isn't it? Because there's so much information that you want to get over in your bio. There could be multiple links that you want to get over as well. So what I do, I state I'm different, so I'm part of Wonderful Brands, so I put in there like the different brands that I work with, so 11 Australia, Yellow, etc. And then I have the link tree in my bio. So there's many other ways of doing this, but I personally use Linktree. It's free of charge to use. Linktree is basically a link that you put in your bio that will take them to another page.
Right.
So when I'm giving away this, so everything that I've talked about tonight, I'm going to put into my Linktree. So then you will be able to actually go and access all of this. But in my Linktree, there'll be access to my bio, my blog, the hair agency, all the different things that I feel relevant that I want you to sort of go looking for. It's able to go in there. Otherwise, what happens with salons is that perhaps you just have your salon email address, so your salon website address, but there could be other things that you're offering. So it could be like online booking, or it could be book education with me, or there's loads of different things that you want people to get. And I like to be able to find information quite quickly. I don't like to be going around searching because something distracts you and you get onto something else. So I like to find it really quite quickly. So your bio, I would just state who you are, what you do.
And if you've got that specialism, or you want to have that specialism, spell it out.
Call it out there. Absolutely call it out there. Your top line, what your specialism, what you do. You know, I support salons by whatever it is. What else can I tell you about the bios? Oh yeah, I just tell you anyway. But if you do it on your PC rather than on your phone, you can actually space them out a little bit better, which I always think looks a bit neater as well. I always love the emoji as well, because it kind of draws your attention, and we're quite fun people, so I like to put that in there. My other one was problem solving, so you've already picked up on that one, which absolutely we are problem solvers within this, whether we're hairdressers, whether you're selling education, whatever you're doing, we're solving a problem, and it's understanding that problem. So find out what those people's problems are. So, you know, if it is that they've got frizzy hair in the summer, you know, and you're offering a keratin smoothing treatment or whatever that is, call that out in there and let them know. And just the more information you find out about your ideal client, the better. That's my sort of tip for this. The more research you can do at the moment, and practice. Look at your skill set that you're doing. Create loads of content at the moment. Is you've got all this time. If you haven't took your dolly head home, and I spoke to someone yesterday, they were kicking themselves they haven't took their dolly head home.
I wonder what the delivery times is on that, on something like
if you can get them. If you can get them. I did a load of swatches, coloured swatches this week, and I did 25 toners this week, so like I've got all those to talk about when I go back as well. So I've been using my time quite wisely so far, and I think that's just really thinking about, if you're going to start a specialism, and let's say you are going to be a colour specialist and you're going to specialise in colour correction, right? Okay, what stories can you build now? What is it that the people are offering? So go out there, find out what they're offering. Ask for advice, you know, go to people that you trust. What would you want? So reach out to some salons and ask them, you know, why would you book education? Find out your price point. This isn't always a really difficult one in education, and it's something that people always ask me. You have to decide what your price point is. I can't tell you what your price point is, because what your hourly rate is. What are you comfortable for your hour? So, you know, if you're normally doing a £45 cut and blow dry, and it takes you 45 minutes, your hourly rate is £60 an hour. So you don't want to be, unless you love just doing education, you don't want to be making a loss at this. So you need to work out what you're comfortable with. You know, and you may look at all of this and do the numbers and say, do you know what? I can't make enough money in education. I can make more money in the salon, and that's fine. Or you can say, I can make more money in the salon, but I'm going to do education once a month. You need to work all of that out. Just on
I guess as well, Jo, you can educate within your teams within the salon, couldn't you?
It doesn't necessarily mean that you can go out. You have to go out and do that, or you know, you can have people coming in. You just have to work out what motivates you and what makes you smile at the end of the day. You know, if this colouring swatches for the last 2 days made you smile, which it did me. I discovered rose. I finally learned how to make rose gold. That made me beautiful. I very smiled at that one. I was very happy with that. But if that's what makes you smile, then do it. This is all about, you know, just making people happy and just being the best version of yourself. Because when we go back to work, you know, I know there's hundreds of thousands of hairdressers out there that are chomping at the bit to go back because we're desperate, because we love our business, we love our jobs, and that's all you got to do what makes you happy.
Definitely.
The only other things that I've sort of got to say is just about, you know, this doesn't come easy. You have to work hard at this, work really, really hard, and the harder you work, I'm telling you, the more you're going to reap these rewards. Everything that you do that you can do honestly, is going to help you to get to that end result. So it's just a lot of hard work, a lot of time thinking about who you are, what you do, what you offer, and why you're doing it. And they're my top tips. So did we get
brilliant? Well, I guess you said as well that you're going to be sharing a link at the end.
Yeah, I am. So if you go into my Instagram, so my Instagram is joe_Robertson_wonderful_brands. I think it's on the top of the screen anyway. But if you search for Joe Robertson, it will come up Wonderful Brands. You then click the link in my bio, and I'm going to load this on there. I'm going to do it as soon as I get off this call, so it will be there within the next sort of like 10-15 minutes.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for giving up your time to share all of these expertise with us. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. And just so everybody knows, as part of HJ's virtual week, the sessions that you join in, you can go onto our website and find out how you can make that part of your CPD. We've teamed up with VTCT as part of the virtual week. So that's really good. And we've got loads more exciting content coming to you for the rest of this week. So definitely check it out. I hope you'll be watching as well, Joe.
Of course.
And I think everyone's going to be straight onto their phones, checking out how they can become a specialist in their field straight after this. So
amazing. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.